The angriest person in the room just lost. Not the argument, not the fight, the entire game. Because anger is a tell. It's a weakness disguised as strength. It's you showing everyone exactly where you're vulnerable, what you care about, and how to control you. Real power isn't loud. It isn't explosive. It isn't making threats or raising your voice or slamming doors. Real power is the person who never gets angry. The one who stays completely calm when everyone else is losing control. And that's what makes them dangerous. This is about understanding why people who never show anger are actually the most threatening people in any room, and how that level of emotional control becomes a weapon. Let me start with why anger is weakness, not strength. Most people think anger makes them intimidating, powerful, like they're standing up for themselves or defending their position. But anger does the opposite. It reveals you. When you get angry, you're telling everyone in the room exactly what got to you. You're showing them your buttons, your triggers, your limits. And once people know what makes you angry, they know how to control you. All they have to do is push that button, and you react, predictably, every time. That's not power, that's being a puppet. But the person who never gets angry, they're giving you nothing. No tells, no weaknesses, no buttons to push. You can insult them, provoke them, attack them, and they just don't react. That's when you realize you're not dealing with someone weak. You're dealing with someone who has complete control. And control is the real power. Here's what calm actually signals to people around you. When someone stays calm in situations that would make others angry, it sends a message, not through words, through presence. It says, I'm not threatened by you. I'm not worried about this situation. I'm operating from a position of strength, not desperation. Calm signals confidence, because only people who are secure in their position can afford to stay calm when attacked. Angry people are reacting. Calm people are choosing. And that distinction terrifies people, because if you're choosing to stay calm, it means you have options they don't see, plans they don't understand, resources they don't know about. Your calm makes them nervous, because they're trying to provoke you and it's not working. And when provocation doesn't work, they lose their leverage. That's why people who never get angry are dangerous. They're operating on a completely different level. They're not playing the emotional game everyone else is trapped in. They're playing chess while everyone else is screaming. Now let me show you how Ayanokoji embodies this perfectly. Throughout Classroom of the Elite, people try to make him angry. They insult him, betray him, attack his reputation, threaten him directly, and he never gets angry. Not once. Not because he doesn't feel anything, but because he understands that showing anger gives people power over him. When someone insults him, he just acknowledges it. I see. If you say so, okay? No defense, no anger, no reaction. And what happens? The person trying to provoke him gets frustrated because their tactic isn't working. They're swinging at air. Meanwhile, Ayanokoji is observing, calculating, planning his actual response, which won't be emotional. It'll be strategic. He might ruin that person's entire position in the school, but he'll do it calmly, methodically, without ever raising his voice or showing anger. Because anger is what amateurs do. Strategy is what professionals do. That's the difference. And that's what makes him dangerous. So let me break down the 5 reasons why people who never get angry are actually the most dangerous. First, they're always thinking clearly. Anger clouds judgment. It makes you impulsive, reactive. You say things you regret. You make decisions based on emotion instead of logic. But calm people, their judgment is never clouded. They see the situation clearly. They consider all options. They make the right move, not the emotional move. That clarity is a massive advantage. Second, they're completely unpredictable. Angry people are predictable. You know exactly what they'll do. They'll yell, they'll threaten, they'll escalate. But calm people, you have no idea what they're thinking, no idea what they're planning, no idea when or how they'll respond. That unpredictability makes them impossible to prepare for, and that's terrifying. Third, they control the frame of every interaction. When you get angry, you've lost control of the conversation. You're reacting to them. They're setting the terms. But when you stay calm, you maintain the frame. You're still in control. You're the one deciding how this plays out. And in any interaction, the person who controls the frame has the power. Fourth, they make better decisions. Anger leads to mistakes. You act too quickly. You miss details. You burn bridges you might need later. But calm people take their time. They consider consequences. They choose the most effective response, not the most satisfying one in the moment. And that means they win. Not just battles, entire wars. Fifth, they're emotionally independent. Angry people need validation. They need to be heard. They need to express themselves. But calm people don't need any of that. They're complete in themselves. Your opinion doesn't matter to them. Your provocations don't work. And that independence makes them impossible to manipulate. Now here's how you develop this level of control yourself. First, recognize that anger is a choice, not a reflex. You think anger just happens to you, but it doesn't. There's a gap between stimulus and response, a moment where you choose how to react. Most people react automatically, but you can train yourself to pause in that moment and choose calm instead. Second, ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? Most things people get angry about aren't worth it. They're small, temporary, irrelevant in a week. Before you react, ask, will this matter in a year, in a month, tomorrow? If not, why waste your energy on it? Third, separate the person from the behavior. People aren't attacking you personally. They're operating from their own pain, insecurity, or agenda. Second, ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? Most things people get angry about aren't worth it. They're small, temporary, irrelevant in a week. Before you react, ask, will this matter in a year, in a month, tomorrow? If not, why waste your energy on it? Third, separate the person from the behavior. People aren't attacking you personally. They're operating from their own pain, insecurity, or agenda. When you see that, it's easier to stay calm, because it's not about you, it's about them. Fourth, practice delayed response. Don't respond immediately to provocations. Wait, even just 10 seconds. That delay gives you time to choose your response instead of just reacting. And often you'll realize no response is the best response. Fifth, remember, the person who stays calm has already won. And in any conflict, the person with control wins, not the person who's loudest. Here's the uncomfortable truth about anger. Society tells you that anger is strength, that standing up for yourself means getting angry, that passion requires emotion. But that's a lie designed to keep you weak. Because angry people are easy to control, easy to provoke, easy to predict. But calm people, they're dangerous because they're in complete control of themselves. And if you can control yourself, no one else can control you. That's real power, not the ability to intimidate through anger, but the ability to remain calm when everyone else is losing it. Because while they're reacting emotionally, you're thinking strategically. While they're burning energy on anger, you're conserving yours for the actual response. While they're revealing their weaknesses, you're giving away nothing. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals, between people who react and people who choose. So here's what you need to remember. The angriest person in the room just revealed their weakness. They showed you what matters to them, what threatens them, how to control them. But the person who never gets angry, they're giving you nothing. They're unreadable, unpredictable, operating from complete control. And that's what makes them truly dangerous. Not because they're violent, not because they're aggressive, but because they're in control when you're not. Anger is weakness disguised as strength. Calm is strength that doesn't need to prove itself. And once you understand that, you'll never see anger the same way again.